Hello and welcome. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make these super simple and easy watercolor gift tags. So for this project, I'm using masking tape, a piece of watercolor paper, watercolor paint, and watercolor brushes. So you'll need 3 pieces of masking tape to make these lines on your paper. You're going to start at the bottom of your paper and work up into even sections. The tape masks off a space from the watercolor so that later on you can write names. So it'll make more sense later on. But for this first section of design, I'm using a white crayon to just draw hearts. And you can kind of see from this angle a little bit better. You'll be able to see it on the paper, but it's really hard to see until you paint over it. But I'm coloring in some hearts and leaving some of the hearts open. Then once you've put all of the hearts you want on the paper, you can just paint over the top. So it's a form of masking when you use some kind of crayon. White is usually preferred because it doesn't leave any kind of colored residue. And then I'm just dropping all different colors of paint all over the paper. For this technique, you're going to want to make sure that it's pretty watery so that everything is blending together, and you can really add any colors that you want. If you're not a fan of the traditional Valentine colors, you can do greens and blues and neons and yellows and whatever your heart's desire. Just make sure that you're dropping in the colors when everything is still wet so that it has that nice, beautiful blending technique, and that you're making sure all of the hearts and the outlines of them are covered with paint so that you can distinctly see them. So we're done with the top section, and that is our first card design. Now we're going to move to this second row for our second card design. And I really wanted to highlight the beauty of watercolor with blending. And so I'm staying within the same color palette of the Valentine, the traditional Valentine colors. I am adding in yellow because I love yellow. And I am just doing these simple stripes, but I'm letting them touch every now and then, leaving some white space in between sometimes. But if I let it touch a little bit, it gives that nice, beautiful blending technique, which I love. So I'm really doing the colors at random. There's no rhyme or reason to the ones that I'm putting down, just kind of looking and saying, hey, I haven't done that color in a while. Picking up colors that I think look good together and watching the beauty of them blend and work together to make a beautiful pattern. So this is a super simple activity anybody can do, and it's also a fun exercise in color mixing as well. For the third design, we are also doing color mixing, blending, and hearts, but just in a different format. So I'm painting the hearts, really just using the shape of my brush to form a very simple, easy heart. And I'm making sure that it's watery enough that everything is blending together, just touching one section of the heart to another heart as I'm painting it. So something that I found that helps is if I'm not ready to touch the heart to the color, I'll paint one of the sides of the heart that's farthest away from the side I want touching, and then I will sweep down and connect it with the other side of the heart. So you don't have to connect right away. You can see here with the yellow, I'm doing that. And then at the very end, I will touch down, because then it makes it so that it blends in easily without me messing anything up while I'm forming the other side of the heart. So if I just form the other side of the heart first, that tends to work out really well for me. So again, I'm using the same color palette. If one of the hearts dries before you paint a adjoining heart that touches it, you will not get that blending effect. So you need to move rather quickly with this technique, or maybe just don't start in the middle like I did. I started at the middle and went to the right and then went to the left, so they were starting to dry by the time I went to the left. Anyway, it all worked out. Now we're taking off the tape, which is always the best part, and maybe you can start to see the vision that I had where the names are going to be written here. So I got out my giant cutter, and what you want to do is cut at the very top of the next pattern. So you want the white strip attached below the pattern, if that makes sense. So then you're going to cut into smaller pieces to make a gift tag. So you can cut these any size that you want. I just eyeballed it, does not have to be perfect. And then you end up with a bunch of these very cute little gift tags to write names in that white space. You can hole punch them and add them to goodie bags to give to your neighbors or your friends, or you can have this be a project that your kids do, and then you have a very simple, cute, and easy little gift tags you can put on candy or pencils or whatever you like to hand out for class Valentine's Day gifts. I just think these turned out so cute. I think with watercolor, when you do repeating patterns, especially with this blending technique, it is just so effective and looks like you really knew what you were doing, and no one has to know how easy and simple it was. Thank you for staying until the end. I hope you really enjoyed this tutorial. If you would like more tips and tricks about watercolor, follow me here on YouTube or Instagram. I'll see you next time. Bye.